Major Mohammed Ali Shah joining us on the broadcast. He's, of course, served in the Indian Army, if I remember correctly, in the Short Service Commission. Major Shah, we have long been having a conversation about women in the armed forces. It began gingerly in non-combat roles. Now, increasingly, we've seen in the Air Force, in helicopter pilots. Now, we are seeing in the deployment of artillery, in frontline combat roles. What has allowed us to make this change, and what is the logical conclusion? Where does this go from here?
Oh, very well brought out by you, Rishabh. Firstly, the Director General of Artillery, that's the regiment. Again, incidentally, you have to right. I am from OTA, the Officers Training Academy, and also from the regiment of Artillery, incidentally. So the Director General of Artillery, General T.K. Chawla, incidentally retires today. And I was just having a chat with him about a week back. He had invited us over for dinner, and we were discussing about the artillery and the progress it's made, and about the women officers. And so they were former chiefs, and they were former army commanders, they were former generals who he all spoke to in one go. And he mentioned about the progress. In fact, I would give a lot of credit, in fact, to General Chawla, in fact, to be very, very honest, because he has done a lot for the arm, for the regiment of artillery. And now when we also have 186 cadets which passed out yesterday, 5 are gentlemen cadets from Bhutan, 24 of them are women officers from Bhutan, and 5 of them got commissioned in the regiment of artillery. 3 of them, as you rightly brought out, would be sent to the line of actual control, and 2 of them, again, in a very strategic location. The regiment of artillery, Rishabh, they have, and before I come to regiment of artillery, in 2019, we inducted the first lady police in the army, the military police. So their job is to patrol the cantonments and to keep watch on the cantonments, and that's been a success. In January this year itself, Lieutenant Shivya Chauhan, first lady officer from a technical arm who have been posted on Siachen battlefield. We had Major Khushbu Kanwar, who led the Republic Day Parade contingent of the Assam Rifles. I went on deputation to the Assam Rifles from the Regiment of Artillery again. So in 2019, we had naval officers. Lieutenant Commander Sandhya Chauhan, in fact, 2015, she led when Barack Obama had come to India, she led the naval contingent. So we've had Nari Shakti all throughout, and let me tell you, in the army, Rishabh, they do not distinguish between your caste, creed, religion, sex, gender, nothing. It's all about your capability. So the commanding officer would give an order to say,
no, but Major Shah, I know that's the idealistic position, but for obvious reasons, there have not been women serving in frontline combat operations up until today. Okay, at least when it came to the Indian Army. So this is about something that has a paradigm shift. Oftentimes when we sit down and when we have these conversations on television, and the reality is that 99.999% of the retired generals or retired army officers we'll have these conversations with are men, simply because I think there has now been one lieutenant general in the Indian Army who's been a woman. So it is the exception, not the norm, but it is increasingly becoming the norm. So obviously there is a policy change, an outlook change, and a mindset change.
Okay, Rishabh, this is a question which a girl, an aspirant in the army, she had asked. Sadhna had asked this on YouTube. She had commented on my YouTube channel. So Sadhna had asked that, sir, can a lady become a general? And incidentally, I interviewed just a few days back a lady lieutenant general who's retired from the army, Rishabh. Though she's from a medical corps, that's a different thing. But yes, you know the reason, I will give you the logical reason why we've not had a lady general otherwise in other arms so far. We've not had lady officers for too long. I mean, the first batch was inducted just about in the early 90s. So the length of service, if you see, that does not actually qualify them so far to reach the rank of a general officer. But I'm quite certain that lady officers will make very good general officers, just like Lieutenant General Madhuri Kanetkar, who I had interviewed some time back. She was, I mean, she is an epitome, an example for a lot of lady officers for that matter. So now coming back to, this was, this aspirant is Sadhna Ponyan, who had asked this question on YouTube. Now let me come back to, we've never had ladies in the fighting arm. This is always the first time, Rishabh. We, in fact, when we switched over after partition, after 1947, from the British Indian Army, we became an Indian Army. That was also the first time. When we have General Sir Francis Butcher, it was again, always, it was the first time. When I was posted to the line of control, Rishabh, in the year 2003, it was my first experience being at the border. So there's always a first time, and I'm sure the lady officers will actually prove their mettle in a fighting arm like the regiment of artillery. Now they have there's light regiment, they are medium regiment, they are field regiment, they are rocket regiment, they are SP regiment that's self-propelled. So the lady officers, in fact, I think they are going to do really well in fighting arms. And
yes, so so Major Shah, of course, and you mentioned repeatedly lady officers, which means that they will be commanding men in the units that they will now be heading, and their frontline combat units. There will be frontline activity, and I look forward to seeing more such. We had the privilege of interviewing 5 naval officers, women naval officers, a few weeks ago, then 5 Indian Air Force officers just a few days ago. And I'm looking forward to an opportunity to interviewing these women officers as well. And what I more look forward to is that over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, as they grow in seniority and they grow through the ranks, to see a whole crop of generals emerging from these young officers who've just been inducted. Fascinating. Very happy to see this. Major Shah, thank you for your time as always. Thank you.